Hello. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, right? That's the proclamation. I'm always like, thank God it's 1 o'clock because you would not believe how much I spend my Friday mornings. Well, first they start off a little relaxed for whatever reason. I think it's my mindset. And maybe because we don't set the alarm on Friday mornings, that might have something to do with it. And then all of a sudden, at some point, there comes this like, crap. And it becomes this frenzied rush to get stuff done until 1 o'clock. And then it's like, oh, okay. So here I am, and here you are. Thank you all for joining me today. Shall we see who all is here? Let's see. Well, at least who's commenting. I know some of y'all don't comment, and that's okay. I'm Carolyn, by the way. If you're new, I'm happy you're here. Whether you're watching live or if you happen to come around later on. And hello, Anne and Katrin. I love it. The sun's out, Katrin says, and that always makes me happy. Yeah, I love a rainy day, but probably because we don't get that many of them. But, you know, bright sunshine is always makes everything just brighter, right? But speaking of, we have some clouds outside. I thought I heard some thunder earlier, but I don't know. We haven't had rain yet. So, and the little doll you knitted, I don't think I've seen it yet. Okay. Obviously I've missed a few things, so I'll have to go look. Overcast out in California as well. Okay. Hi, Karen Sobel, and Kim is here, and Valera. I love it. And Karen, hello from Tulsa. How you doing, Karen? I hope you're recovering well. And let's see, Deb is here. Hey, Linda Frank, who just moved to you may not. I probably shouldn't say that. She just moved out of state. You may not want everybody to know where you are. I'll just shout it from the heavens, shall I? And then Tish, let's see, very comfy up in upper New York. I like it. Okay, Joe Carroll, hello from PA. I love it. Deborah Sue is here. Hi, Anne. And then I know 1 o'clock does kind of sneak up on me. I mean, at 12:30, I was sitting out at the bar grabbing a little bit of lunch, and I told Morgan I'd make us our brown sugar shaken espressos because it's been quite a few weeks. In fact, I had forgotten how much brown sugar I put in them. But I'm sitting there talking to Bo and reaming him out. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, and then I realized, holy crap, it's like 12:40, and I haven't even got the setup going. Normally I do that way early. Anyway, like I said, Fridays, it's kind of a mixed bag. You never know what you're going to get around here. So how have y'all been? Watching any good TV shows? You know, we've been talking about the Inspector Gamache series. So I, this past week, went back and restarted Three Pines. And then I was like, okay, this is the real reason I don't read the books first, because I just about can't stomach the show. I mean, don't get me wrong. The acting is great. They picked good actors, although I don't know, Jean-Guy Bouvard, did they pick the right person for him? He's a good actor. Don't get me wrong. I've seen him before in something else, but I was like, I don't know. Does he really match what the book has? I don't know. Maybe. And then Ruth has a duck from the get-go. Come on. So that sort of thing. I'm just like, okay. And Clara, that the person that they have as Clara is not at all like the Clara in the books. Not at all. Her and Peter, give me a break. Anyway. I'm on like book 6, by the way, because I have been listening to audiobooks. I downloaded Libby, so I have Libby and Hoopla now that I can check out audiobooks. And so I have been listening to these books while I'm out in the dye studio and even in here working and things. So I am just zipping through the books now. I mean, just zoom, which is awesome. But Oh, you're on, yeah, Linda, you're in a different time zone. And are you, so the last time we were in, not the last time, the first time, let me jump ship on off that topic for a minute. The first time we went to Nashville for Thanksgiving that year, I don't know if it's just because it was the first time that it happened or what, but it literally was dark by 4 p.m. And I was like a little depressed. I was like, this is just weird. It's just full on dark. But that could have just been that year and maybe the weather, because, if it gets cloudy right around the time that the sun set, obviously it makes it get dark earlier. So I don't know if it was just that year, because ever since then I've not noticed it. Or did I just acclimate? I don't know. But anyway, so that was one thing I noticed being in the central time zone. I was like, ooh, we're so, I guess, close to the line that shift for daylight was very weird, very disconcerting for me. Our first year there. Anyways, so back to books. Last weekend, I told y'all I was going to go to the Bay Area Knitting Guilds. They apparently meet every Saturday at the library in Largo. Beautiful, big library. And there's a little cafe inside. And there's also a used bookstore. Makes sense. A lot of libraries have that. I went in and I found this book called A Most Uncommon Degree of Popularity by Kathleen. I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. My traditional American background says Gillis, which is probably slaughtering it. But so it's basically about a mother and her daughter, and it kind of hit this like weird spot in me. I haven't actually started it, although Morgan picked it up and tried my trick of starting in the middle. And so she actually took the book with her and was reading. And I was like, are you going to read it now? And I said, are you just going to start from the middle? And she said, well, I decided to use your trick. And then I just got all caught up in the book in where I'm at. Anyway, we got to talking about, I don't know about y'all, any of you mothers, but I know for me, hey, Diane, glad to see you here. I know for me that, y'all know I'm an introvert. So, and friendships for me have always just been, they are, some people you really hit it off with, and some you're just maybe acquaintances with. And I'm a pretty friendly person, but I tend to have, a couple of close friends. Although I guess owning a yarn company, I now have lots more friends than I ever did. So that's been new. But being a parent changed relationships for me, at least with the other moms. Like I don't know how to explain it. And I don't know, is this something that just I experienced? I'm curious if other people experienced it, that suddenly there's all this pressure. And I'm not even sure that I can describe what the pressure was. It was almost like I felt pressure to be someone that the other kids' parents would somehow, based on what I was, they would want their kids to hang out with my kids, even though kids make their own friendships, and especially if they're in school. But because I homeschooled, we were all kind of together, the kids that they hung around with, we were a part of this homeschooling community and got together at least once a week. But then there were other groups that we would hang out with to do field trips and stuff like that. And so it was just fraught with all of this pressure and stress. And me being an introvert, I'm already a little bit awkward sometimes in social situations. But with that added pressure, I just felt like this weird, I don't know, awkward. And so it was just, honestly, Morgan and I were talking about that because she talked about as a teenager, being a teenager, and how her relationships changed with the kids that she had grown up with when she became a teenager. And then I kind of talked about being a parent. She goes, oh, I didn't realize it was like that. And I was like, yeah, it really changed things for me. And now that they're grown, and I still have some of those friendships with those parents, some of them are very good friends, but some of them I don't really talk to as much anymore. Maybe because that was what we had in common, was homeschooling. Anyway, I don't know. But this book apparently is about that. Some of the relationships of adults, I think. I don't know. I haven't actually read the book. So I'll let you know when I get to it. We'll see when I get to it, because I am in the middle of my Inspector Gamache series. So, yeah, anyway. So how about y'all? I haven't even been checking. Ooh, Joe Carroll, you're new to Libby also and love it. Yes, it has. Yeah, I'm already obsessed with it. Kim, it's going to be 100 degrees next week. Whoo, yes. See, I love it. We can knit in the cool weather and in the hot weather. When it's hot, we just sit in the AC and knit, right? And Deb, we homeschooled too. There is kind of a silent but ever-present measuring stick underneath every gathering. Yeah, see, it's not just me. And it was weird. It was kind of hard for me to put into words what I was feeling. But there was definitely a pressure there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to explain the psychology of that to me. Because I don't know. All right. Okay, so June Fiber Challenge. You got 1 week left to post your pics of you knitting in public. And I apologize. I told y'all that I would have picked the prize, I think, by last week, and then just totally forgot about it. So I have picked the prize. Let me make sure I get the right one, because they're very similar between the prize for that and then the prize for the sock knit along, which I'll show that as well in a minute when we talk about it. But this is the prize for the June Knit in Public Fiber Challenge. And I hope it looks better on your monitor than mine, because it doesn't look so good on mine. So this is called Troll Hunter. This is this was a special colorway from long ago. I paired it with Peony and these are both Trusty Sock. And the Troll Hunter colorway is actually pretty cool. It has a base of black, and then it's got all these bare spots where I poured on concentrates of a variety of colors. There's purple, and there's like a magenta in there. And then there's like a blue and a lilac. There's definitely a yellow that you can see, a golden yellow in there. And it looks like, I don't know about y'all, when I was young, teachers always wrote on the chalkboards, and then sometimes we'd get to draw on the chalkboards and, with colored chalk and all that. And then at the end of the day, after everything was erased, there would be some residue left until the chalkboard was cleaned. And that to me is what this looks like, a chalkboard with all the different colors of chalk that were erased. Did y'all ever get to go clean the erasers? I remember we got to do that. And I don't know why we thought it was such a big deal, but we did. So anyway, Troll Hunter. I will announce that winner 1 week from today on the live. All right. And then speaking of fiber challenges, for July, I'm thinking that we do Christmas socks. So, and I'll make a graphic and type up the rules, but essentially the idea is that they need to be obviously Christmas, and it can be Hanukkah too. I'm okay with that, whatever you would like to do. But it needs to be obvious. So for example, if you're not using traditional holiday colors, then maybe your color work needs to obviously point to it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the Odenin Boom socks, which I don't have mine with me. I'll show them next week, but they have Christmas trees in the color work. So you could use non-traditional colors, but the item being knit up or crocheted up is obviously related to the holidays. Or you can just use holiday colors. That would be fine too. And that's obvious also. Let's see. Have you ever seen the works of David Zinn, sidewalk chalk artist? I don't know. I have seen some pretty cool sidewalk chalk art. So I wonder if some of what I've seen is David Zinn, but I don't know. So I'm going to have to go look. I love that stuff. Down in Bartow every year, they have a sidewalk chalk festival, and they invite artists to come in and draw. It's pretty cool, actually. I love that stuff. Okay. And then I don't have a gift or a prize for the July Fiber Challenge yet. but obviously I'll pick one at some point. Okay, then speaking of socks, y'all might have seen, I put it in the newsletter. I also put it in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group that Pam Goodchild has released a sock pattern. It's very cool, a very cool color work pattern. It's Shorties, and it calls for one skein of trusty sock and then a mini skein of trusty sock. So, yeah, there's a knit along going on. I think I gave a date. I know I did in the official rules. I don't remember what the date is now. I didn't write it down, but there is a date. You've got a good portion of this month and next, I think, before I announce a winner. So the official thread is in the Swan City Stitchers group. So you can post pictures of your yarn. You can post pictures of your whip and then your FOs when you get them. And I am obviously use any yarn you want to participate and post pics, and we can celebrate it. To be prize eligible, I am asking that for this knit along that you use Swan City yarns, or you can use yarn from your stash that I have dyed. Those of you that have been around, you know what I'm talking about. Some combinations, if you're interested. From looking at Pam's combinations that she's done, obviously using something that's wildly contrasting like this over here, which is After Midnight and Neon Moon, looks great, but equally good looks something that might not be, like a bright contrasting color, but still contrasting. There's no blue in this skein of Raspberry Lemonade. And so I think that's why it looks so good. You want to pick two colors that don't share any of the same hues. And then she also used charcoal, which is, it's kind of a tonal, like Raspberry Lemonade definitely has different tones. And then she paired it with Stargazer, which is nice and bright, but you could do anything like Hairy Navel or even Berry, anything like that would look good. So that's the key, is that you want to pick skeins that are not sharing colors. And then you should come out with a pretty good looking sock, honestly. So, and Pam is in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group. She's happy to answer any questions about the pattern or anything like that. She's amazing, by the way. Stargazer, a cool rainbow song. I don't know if I know that one. I named the colorway for the Stargazer Lily. Do I know that song, dear? Have I heard it? Hi, Michelle. She's over on Instagram. I don't. It does not surprise me. All right. What else? So, yeah. And this, I looked at the pattern. I'm finishing up my sock that I'm currently working on. And then I want to cast on the Interstellar Shorties. And then I'll tell you about, there's another sock I think I'm going to go back to that I had started and quit, but I think I'm gonna knit it up again. So I've got a couple socks that I want to do. Also, some of y'all I know are aware, Tour de Fleece is getting ready to start in July. Yes. How many of y'all are participating? Deb, are you? And let's see, Carol, I'm guessing, might participate. I don't know if I'll get fiber dyed up or not. I do have some fiber out there in the dye studio that I could dye up. So maybe I will dye up some fiber. But I definitely want to participate this year. Did I tell you all the other night there was a thunderclap? There was the one that woke me up, and it was literally shortly after we had gone to bed. So I went to the bathroom, came back out, laid down, and there was one that was like 3 minutes in to me laying that back down. There was one that was so loud that I like jumped and grabbed Bo. It's like, what was it? but I knew what it was. Holy cow. And I was like, I am so glad that I was not in the bathroom when because I probably would have jumped and pee would have gone everywhere. It was loud. Anyway, I've never been so startled in all my life. Anyway, that was interesting. So, where were we? Tour de Fleece. Yeah, I don't know what my goals are going to be. Honestly, at this point, I just want to start spinning again because a couple things have happened. One, I have spun very little since the start of Swan City Yarns because I've had my hands full. But the other thing is that right before then, I got myself a larger, I got a larger mother of all as well. And what is it? A bobbin, because I wanted to be able to spin more yarn. I just had the small bobbins. So I got a bigger bobbin, but ever since then, my yarn, the fiber uptake has been very slow. And like I have to treadle very heavily. So I think there's some adjustment that I need to be making to my wheel. But those two things happened. And so I've done very little spinning. So honestly, if this just gets me spinning again, like 5 minutes a day, that I don't even care. That's what I'll do. But I definitely, I want to participate. Good. Yes, Deb is participating. Excellent. I love it. Kim, yes. Even the dog jumped up and ran. I know the storms have been all over the place lately. I guess it's that time of year, right? That makes sense. But for us, it's not usually so much storms. It's just we get the daily rain starting in June because of all the humidity. But I know up north, spring is definitely storm season. So, but we're officially into summer now. Today is the official start of summer. So happy summer. All right. What else? Okay. I did want to tell y'all the monthly mini color clubs, they shipped out today. They're not late. They're just a little bit later than what I like to ship them out. And I'll tell you why. It's because I took them initially out of the pots and I was like, that's not what I was going for. So I put them back in the pots to achieve the look that I was going for. I'm not going to show them to you yet because obviously nobody has even had a chance to get theirs. I'll show it next week. I'll do a sneak peek of what the colorway was or is. But so if you are in that subscription, yours is on its way as of now. So let me show you what I am working on. I have finished. I wish I could say I finished the whole thing, but I haven't. But I have finished the body of my Fiorellino. And I even did the little special stitch at the bottom. And then, I don't know, is that like a half twisted rib, I think, because you do the knit stitch through the back loop. I'm wondering if that's called half twisted rib. Anyway, I did it. So now all that I have left is my sleeves, which there's not much to the sleeves, thank goodness. So I think I'm hoping to get that done this weekend. I would love that because I want to get started on my next shirt. Which I told y'all, I think last week, I'm going to do a ranunculus. We'll talk more about it next week once I get it started. So that, and then I did make it past the heel. I don't know if you saw my post. This might just be the year that I finish my Mermaid Avenue socks. And I realized I haven't talked much about the pattern, but a couple people commented on the picture and said, oh, that's such a great stitch pattern. And it is. If you've not knit the Mermaid Avenue socks, I highly encourage it. It looks very fancy, but it's actually super simple. And one lady on one of my posts asked if the tension, if there was anything special about the tension, because sometimes your special stitches, the tension will tighten up and you got to do it loosely or use a bigger needle. And I didn't have any issues. In fact, there's something in the pattern, I don't remember now. She actually has you cast on a different amount. How is that? No, you cast on less stitches than normal. Like I'm a 64 stitch cast on, and she has you cast on less stitches, and I don't remember why. And then she has you increase. So I'm not sure, does she do that instead of having you start with a smaller needle? I don't remember. I'll be honest. Now that I've started knitting socks, I know my formula and I just make it work for me. So I just cast on 64 stitches and I didn't change needle size or anything. I've not had issues with that. I like my cuffs just fine. And so I just use the same needle size for the cuff and the sock. But anyway, the stitch pattern is super comfortable. She obviously, and you could do this anyway, but she gives you a choice of continuing that stitch pattern across the top of your foot, or obviously you can do stockinette, which is what I chose to do. I realized when I got back to working on this sock, I think the reason for that is that the stitch pattern for me became a little bit not cumbersome, but I love a good stockinette stitch pattern, at least for a certain amount of the project, because it lets me watch TV and knit or read and knit. And with this particular stitch pattern, because you're lifting up some bars onto the needle to knit together, it would, I got to look at it. So I couldn't just do that and read at the same time while I was doing those rows. So I love a good stockinette. So that's what I'm looking forward to on this sock. Like I should be done with this in 2 days. We'll see if that actually happens. But anyway, in theory, that's what should happen. Actually, if I had enough time, I could do that in 1 day, finish that bad boy, but we'll see. So I told y'all I want to start a pair of Interstellar Shorties. I've not picked out my color combo yet. I might ask Bo if he wants a pair of Shorties, because I always have to think about when I start knitting socks, okay, who am I knitting these for? Me, Bo, probably not Morgan. She's capable of knitting her own socks, but since this pair is for me, then it's probably Bo's turn next. So I might ask him what color socks he wants. We'll see. And then the other pair of socks that I want to get back to is, I think I want to go back to the striped step socks. Y'all remember those, the Stephen West? I don't have the pattern out in here anymore, but I think I might go back and knit a pair of striped step, and I may make those Shorties as well. We'll see. We shall see. So, oh, thank you, Tish. It is a good color. I didn't even tell y'all, this is the Leprechaun colorway. And I have to say, it really knits up beautifully. I call it a variegated green. I use multiple greens in there, and there's even some yellow if you're looking close up, but it definitely comes out as if you're looking at it from far off, as kind of like a Kelly green, which should be a good color for me. You got to take that into consideration. So if you're a green person, this is Leprechaun really is it's a pretty colorway. So yeah, and I know Tracy said that Tracy is making a Leprechaun one as well, and she said I'm actually ahead of her, which means she obviously got sidetracked because that woman can knit fast. Who else? Karen Sobol, I know you picked yours up. You're probably done. Let's see. Hey, Sharon, I'm glad that you did make it to see us. Kim, you got to get back to yours too. Yeah. Bo, what is that color I keep telling you that I'm drawn to? I don't remember. You'll have to look again. I know Cookie Crumbs you keep coming back to, but I don't remember. I don't. You'll have to let me know, and then maybe I will make you some socks in it. So thank you all. Yes, I am very pleased with this. That will make a nice summer top for sure. So I'm excited about that. All right, let's see what is next. Okay, shop update. So couple of things that I did in the shop. So hot and cold, I showed you all the order that went to Knitcessities. Knit. Although Knitcessities is getting an order of gradient color cakes. So check her out, her stock. And then Knit in Longwood, Marnie, got an order of trusty sock. And in that was the colorway hot and cold, which goes with burnt butter. And I came up with the colorway for Marnie. And so if you're local, you're going to want to go see Marnie first. But I do have them for those of you that are shopping online. So they go together nicely depending on what you're doing. Obviously, if you're looking for strong contrast, this is not your blend. But if you're looking for color work that goes together, then this is a match made in heaven for sure. So burnt butter has been restocked in the shop, which I needed to do anyway, because it's such a great, it can, it's an orange leaning brown, and you can really focus on the orange and bring that out. Or you can focus on that golden brown aspect and draw that out as well. And then I paired it with navy at the request of Marnie. She wanted a blue in there. So yeah. So that's hot and cold, which is in the shop on multiple bases. I also, because of the Interstellar Shorties pattern coming out, I put some not new colors, but they haven't been in the Swan City shop before. Junho is on Trusty Sock Mini, as is Double Mint. And Harry Nabel, this one, so this colorway, what's interesting about this colorway, it used to be called, when it first came out, it was Florida Oranges. And it also looked different. I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like this looks I don't know if I just put more dye powder down or what, but it looks a lot darker than the Harry Nabel of the past, to be honest. But it's in there. And then, the ever gorgeous golden green is Cavendish. It's a little washed out on my monitor, but that's in the shop as well. So those, so look, if you're looking for minis, obviously you've got a lot to choose from. And then I'm looking and I realize, I think there's something I forgot to show y'all. I'll talk about in a minute. Anyway, Dying to Knit is still open. It'll be open for, I don't know, a few more days before I close it down. And yeah, that's it. So the thing that I forgot to mention is, which I put it in the post, but it's the prize for the Interstellar Shorties knit along, is another skein of Troll Hunter. This one is on Swanky Little Sister Sock. So just like Swanky Sock, but it's just a 100-gram skein. So it's got 400 yards. And I paired this one with, I think that's Beehive. No, Love Bug. I paired it with Love Bug. So there you go. And you can see some of that lilac is in there as well. So that, yeah, I knew. I was like, I didn't show that. So, all right, what's going on in the future? What's coming up? So next week is basically Christmas Eve. And Kim, was it you? Someone was kind enough to tag me in a Christmas post that said the Hallmark movie watching for Christmas in July begins next Friday, the 29th. And I'm like, and Morgan was like, why is it starting in June? And I was like, because they know it's Christmas Eve. And she's like, or maybe it's like finding Christmas items in the store in October. I was like, maybe next year they'll start showing Christmas movies in May. And then she's had the best idea ever and said, I think Hallmark should just be known for Christmas movies. Genius. Right? Hello. So obviously, starting next Friday, I will be tuned in to Hallmark to watch. And I haven't even seen any of the trailers. I'm so disappointed in myself. I need to write myself. Hang on. Just give me a minute. I got to go see what we have in store for us. Are these going to be good movies or what? I mean, We already know the plot, but basically, but I need to know who the actors and actresses are. So for sure. Okay. So, I see that Magic Loop is called for in the Interstellar Shorties. I don't know how to do that. No, Tish. How do you normally make your socks? You use the two, or you use the Shorties like I do? I read over it and I didn't see any issues. But feel free to reach out to Pam because she's happy to help. I've not had issues going back and forth, even patterns that call for DPNs. I just, put them over to my preferred method. So, but if you have problems with that, definitely reach out. But I don't see having a problem just because you don't do magic at all. Oh yeah, DPNs. DPN should be totally fine. But if you have, like I said, if you have specific questions, then definitely reach out. Oh, Karen, you're not done. Okay, well, that makes me feel a little better. I don't know why. It shouldn't. It doesn't matter. And then Bo says, you showed it last week. I don't know what I showed last week, but good. I'm glad. Oh, did I show the prize? I couldn't have shown the prize because I picked it this week. Oh, maybe. Oh, the color that you like. Honey, I don't know. What did I show last week? Last week, I think I showed the Americana and Star Spangled, but that's not it. So I know exact Bamboozled. That's the colorway that you're drawn to, which is very similar. Well, in feel, it has that same rustic feel as Cookie Crumbs. Yes, Bamboozled. Yes, Bamboozled. Bo says that Bamboozled reminds him of a Nine Inch Nails album cover. I'm sure y'all know it. You hard rockers, you. Okay, so coming up, where will I be? So by the way, tomorrow I'm doing a private trunk show for the Bay Area Knitting Guild in celebration of Pam's sock pattern release. So the online shop will be closed for a portion of the day tomorrow, just so you know. And then next month, if you are local, you have 3 opportunities to come see me to get some Christmas colorways. The very first weekend, July 7th, no, July 5th, thank you very much. I will be at Knitcessities doing a Christmas themed trunk show. July 19th, I will be at Knit and Stitch in Cocoa doing another Christmas themed trunk show, as well as a holiday sock blank dye experience. I will also have some other colors. If you've never dyed a sock blank, I can't encourage you enough. I mean, it's just something that everybody should do. It's so fun. Yeah, it's a good experience. And then July 26th, that is actually just a regular trunk show with me teaching a working with hand-dyed yarns class, as well as doing a botanical scarf dyeing class experience there. Although, well, it is a class because I teach you how to do it and you can do it on your own at home. That one, I will also take some Christmas colorways as well. So what my plan is for the month of July is to release Christmas colorways each week. I will try to have a good sampling of all the colorways at the trunk show. So you don't have to worry about, oh, she hasn't released that colorway yet, so I can't get, you know what I'm saying? Like if you come to the trunk show, you will actually get early access to some of the colors. And you don't have to pay shipping. All right. And then after that, in August, we have 2 festivals we will be at. Southern Comforts Fiber Festival in Charlotte, North Carolina. I hope to see some of you there. And then at the end of August, we will be in Pittsburgh for the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival. So I hope to see some of you there as well. It'll be my first time at both of those events. And Bo, I was telling Bo, and he's like, wow, it's already almost here. And I was like, yeah, I know. Time flies. I'm telling you what. And then let's see. Diane doesn't like Magic Loop either. No, I don't either. Susan, did I show whips? I showed my whips, but I think I do not have any Swan whips today. I'm sorry to say. So I will get them all and show them next week. Susan, is there something specific you're wanting to see? Let me know. Puro, am I saying that right? Crochet, hello and welcome. I'm glad to see you. Thank you, Tish. Yes, Tish and I met at a sock blank dye experience. Kim, North Carolina will be August 8th and 9th, the Southern Comforts Fiber Festival in Charlotte. I have been to Charlotte before. It's a great town, by the way, so I'm excited to go back. We went, I know y'all want to know this. It was our first year that we also went to Nashville for Thanksgiving. We took a pit stop to Charlotte and went to see Genesis on their final tour. One of the best I've been to so many concerts. No, I haven't. Bo has been to so many concerts. I've been to so few concerts, but definitely ranks as one of my top favorite. I don't know, is it just because more recent? No, because I've been to concerts with Bo that haven't just, they're just regular concerts. But I tell you what, the showmanship of the Genesis concert, the stuff that they played, and the most recent concert that I think I've been to, Bryan Adams, amazing, just amazing. They not only did they sound amazing, but the visual effects out of this world. Some of my favorite all-time favorite concerts for sure. All right. So if you have been around this long and have not yet subscribed, then I would love for you to do that. It helps me out. I admit it. It helps you out too, because that way YouTube knows what sorts of things that you like and that you want to see. I'm trying to think, is there anything? I probably missed something, but if I did, I apologize. And, but you can always reach me, Carolyn at Swan City Yarns. And, yeah, it's raining, but I assume we're going to go get groceries. It probably won't rain very long. I mean, this is Florida. It'll probably clear up in the next 5 minutes. So anyway, I hope that you all have a great weekend. It's coming up on July 4th and hot summer. So do take care of yourselves and get in your fiber crafting. And I will see you next week right here. All right. Everybody take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. That's it. Bye-bye.